Please, could you leave a yes in the Ubong, can you hear me? There seems to be some sort of feedback. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
Hi,
I can.
Ubong. All right, thank you. So, hi, everybody. If you can hear me clearly, please leave a yes in the chat, just so that I know that everybody can hear me before we go ahead with details of today's session. So, if you can hear me, I'm audible, I'm clear, and you get my audio clearly from your end. Please leave a yes in the chat so that I know that you can hear me clearly. Okay, so Sylvanus, thank you. So good day, everybody. Welcome to the Analytics Masterclass. Today, we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting, right? And we'll get started almost in a bit. But before we do, I'd like to meet every single person here on the call. Okay, so if you don't mind, just let me know your name and where you're joining us from. Okay, so this is meant to be a pretty interactive session, right? You're supposed to speak to us, interact with us and all of that. So if you don't mind, please let me know your name, and where you're also joining us from. Just a bit of a housekeeping. All right. So I can see Moturayo, I can see Balikis, I can see Bamzi, I can see Chidima, I can see Chinaza, Chineye, IBB, Deborah. If you can hear me, please just leave your name and where you're joining us from right there in the chat. Okay, I'll be expecting responses, all right? Your name and where you're joining us from, please. Okay, I can see Wilson, I can see Philip. Okay, Philip from Canada, good to have you here. I can see James Coleman, Balikis from USA, good to have you here as well. Okay, so who else? It's meant to be really, really interactive. Chinaza from UK, Sylvanus from UK, Debbie from SA, good to have you here. Okay, so welcome to the Analytics Masterclass. All right, we're going to get started in a bit. What I want to do, first of all, is to give you a bit of introduction into who we are here at Analytics and what we do. So you have a solid understanding of today's session, okay? Like I said, it's going to be a really interactive one and it's going to be very interesting. And what we'll be talking about today basically is which cybersecurity specialization is best for non-computer related degree holder. So I'll assume that, almost everybody here on the call is looking to get into cybersecurity, and some of us are without, technical background or even a computer related background. So let me fill your polls. Okay, so when you hear of cybersecurity, what comes to your mind? Please leave that in the chat. When you hear cybersecurity, what comes to your mind? Anything, just something that comes to your mind if you hear the word cybersecurity. I'll be looking forward to your responses in the chat. So cybersecurity, what comes to your mind? For me, when I hear cybersecurity, I think of security guards, right? They're guarding things. But then what are they guarding? That is something we get to find out today. Okay, so IBB says data firewall, Philip says protection and defense, Baliki says security in the system. Absolutely, right? So one more question, right? Just something to tickle your brain and all of that. So if you were to be a hacker for a day, just think about it. Somebody that could be a hacker and you couldn't get caught. Nobody would catch you if you do anything. What would be the first thing you would do, right? If you were to be given an opportunity to be a hacker for just one day, nobody's catching you, nobody's coming for you. What is the first thing that you will do? So just leave that in the chat. Let me just hear your thought process, in written form. So just let me know if you were to be a hacker, what is the first thing you would likely do? Right? Don't worry, nobody's using it against you, just to hear your thoughts. I'd like to see some responses in the chat. Chidima says to look for vulnerabilities in the system. Absolutely. So you can pray on those. Okay. So we're going to get started, right into today's session. It's going to be a really interesting one. I'm sure you can feel it already because I can feel it. Okay. So we're talking about basically which cybersecurity specialization is best for non-computer related degree holders, right? And then who is bringing this session for you? Who is coming to talk to you about cyber security and why should you listen? So We are Tenalytics, and who are we basically? What do we do? So here at Tenalytics, we are a leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is on providing tech trainings to individuals looking to transition into tech. Right, so tech is absolutely broad, and then we bring tech to your doorstep. So anytime you hear of Tenalytics, just think tech, bringing tech to my doorstep, helping me transition into tech. Okay, so we've been doing this, for over 4 years, and then what this translates to is we've been able to help over 2,500 people transition from the classroom into their first job in tech. Think about it, not really like from their previous jobs, they're upskilling and all of that. This is people without experience, right? So we've been able to help over 2,500 plus people transition from the classroom where they learned, into getting their first jobs across the UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia, right? The goal for us, like I said, is to make tech accessible to everybody. And we do this by providing you with experiential training in data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, or Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and AI engineering. So tech is really broad, like I said, but we're focused on just this 8 of them for now, right? And you'll find the reason why we're focused on 8 as we go by. The focus for this session today is actually on cybersecurity, right? And the way we're able to teach people tech, the way we're able to ensure that people transition seamlessly into tech is to ensure that the person that will be teaching you, has the wealth of experience that you will need to transition easily. So they have the real world experience such that when they are coming to class, they're bringing all of this experience. You'll be picking their brain. You'll be learning from somebody that has walked the talk, so that the investment that you're literally placing on your future by registering with Analytics, you get the maximum value from it. So this is pretty much who we are at Analytics and what we do. And while we're here today, what would we be doing today? We'll be doing a couple of things, really, really interesting things. I'm just going to give you a breakdown of, what we'll be doing here today and what you should expect as the session goes on. So the first thing we'll talk about today is cybersecurity specialization for a non-techie cybersecurity journey. I know that some of us, when we hear cybersecurity, we think, oh, this is absolutely too technical. I don't have any tech-related background or computer-related background. Are there roles I can actually do in cybersecurity and all of that? That is one thing we'll be talking about here today. Right. So afterwards, we'll show you the pathway to becoming a cybersecurity professional, regardless of your background. Right. So how you on this call can easily become a cybersecurity professional. So what this means is if you know somebody that is interested in cybersecurity, or you think would have a thing or two for cybersecurity, please send them the link to this session so that they can join in, and they get to benefit from it as well, right? Then afterwards, we'll also talk about the Tenalytics Growth Internship Program. And the last but not the least, we have a special discount offer for you, right? And you'd know that before this session goes off. So basically, just a little bit about myself. My name is Priscilla, as you can see on the screen. And currently, what I help people do here at Tenalytics, is to help them decide which career path suits them. A lot of people say the $1,000,000 question is, I want to get into tech, but I don't even know which career path suits me. Most especially for people without technical experience and all of that computer-related degree, they want to know because getting into tech as a newbie, you have to be strategic. You have to learn something that suits your interest so that you'll be in it for the long term. So that is basically what I help people do at the moment, help people decide which career path to go for, which one suits their experiences and all of that. So my expertise spans across being a freelance data analyst, a crypto educator, a technical support personnel, and a tech career coach. Okay, so this is pretty much about me, right? And like I told you, it's going to be a pretty insightful session. With me on the call is my colleague, Tohib, right? It's going to be also talking to you about the various specializations in cybersecurity. And right about now, I'm just going to hand it over to Tohib. So he takes over this session and he blows your mind away. Hi, Tohib. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Priscilla.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction, and also thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming to this session. I know we are all busy. We have some of us have works to do, but um, I'm happy each and every one of us were able to join us here for today's session. Um, so, like Priscilla said, hi everyone. My name is Tohib Jimo, and I'm a senior cybersecurity associate here at Tenalytics, where I help people with no prior experience in tech to build their skills and also confidence to land their first real job in cybersecurity. And a little more about myself is I've worked across so many domains in cybersecurity. For first, I've worked as a cybersecurity operation, cloud and infrastructure security analyst, and also, which is my favorite part, incident response analyst. Now, at the moment, my obsession right now for me is I help I help people to make their dreams come true. Like I make cybersecurity easier for each and every one of us to learn, both people with tech background and also people without tech background. So, and one thing I also want to say is that I want to make two promises here before we start that I will keep this as plain as possible so every one of us here can get a grasp of everything I'll be talking about here today. And I will show you how your current strength can translate into cybersecurity roles so you can see where you fit in. And I also want you to know that you're not, cybersecurity is a thing for everyone. You don't have to be a tech savvy or someone that studied computer science or information security or information technology for you to be able to pursue a role in cybersecurity. So first thing first, before I move forward, I would like to know each and every one of us background. So I help you to matchmake with what cybersecurity role that you can play in going forward. So I would really love that. So I'll be checking the comment section so as to just get a few of those roles. So thank you very much. I'll also be looking at that very soon. So anyone? Okay, civil engineering, compliance. I can see we have compliance from organs, compliance, nursing. Okay, I can see a lot of health people here, which is very good. Registered nurse. So this is a very good one in the sense that public relations, quality control, engineering, business administrator, educator. Wow, yeah, I can see there are a whole lot of brilliant-minded people here. And with all of these skills, I want to let you know that you aren't left out, and cybersecurity is definitely a path to pursue. It's just that I would make you realize that what you have right now is something that you can be able to work with going forward in cybersecurity. So first things first, I would like to just explain to us about what security means or what cybersecurity means generally. And again, I would also like to know in everyone's explanation to them what cybersecurity means to them before going forward. Everyone, what does it mean to you? Or what's your first encounter with cybersecurity? When you hear cybersecurity, what do you think of? So I'd like to hear everyone's explanation about that. So basically, cybersecurity is just the practice of protecting system, networks, application, and data from digital attacks. That's just basically what it is. Okay, I can see Silvano says data protection. Exactly. Like I said, protecting systems, data, and all of that. Thank you very much, Silvanus, for that. So, and another thing about cybersecurity is we all have one ultimate goal, which is what? To preserve what we call the CIA triad. In the sense that CIA triad in cybersecurity means what? Confidentiality, integrity, and in information technology, basically. Confidentiality, integrity, and what? Availability. So confidentiality, in basic word, what I understand as confidentiality is what? The only right that it allows only right people to see it. Like if you have an information, only the right people should be able to have access to that information. Now, going on to integrity, integrity basically means what? No authorized changes. That is, if you don't have a particular if you don't have a particular body to change something in a file or a data, you would not be able to do that. And lastly, availability. That is, it should always be up whenever you need it. So these three things are basic key. They are basic key values in information systems generally, in information technology, in cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and what? Availability. Now, if you remember nothing else, now remember this: good security, right access, correct data, and always what? Available. That's the short form of what? These three things. In case you're not really you can't really remember what the CIA triad is, just know that right access, correct data, and availability. These three things are what meet stands of what? Information technology. Now, for me to create, like, let me just create a quick check with us. Now, think about your phone. What protects the confidentiality of your phone? Now, what comes to my mind is what? My screen lock and my biometrics. For instance, well, some of us, we have patterns on our phone to unlock it. Some of us, we have what? Passwords to unlock our phone. And some of us, we use either fingerprint or face ID. So that's what keeps what? Confidentiality with our phone. So you can basically see that you do cybersecurity every day. I can go on and on and on with every aspect of our day-to-day living, and how it relates to the CIA triad, which is the standard of information technology. So basically, we can still go on and on about integrity. Anyone that wants to tell me the relationship between integrity and what it means to them. So, and what it means to them. So the next thing that we have The next thing that we have is what? Now, most people think cybersecurity isn't for everyone. And I'm going to oppose to that. Now, cybersecurity is for everyone, because here in this industry, the reality is that the demand for cybersecurity exceeds supply. In fact, according to the latest ISC2 Square workforce, studies shows that there are over 3.5 million nullified cybersecurity jobs worldwide. And to be honest, what does that mean to us? That's a massive talent gap. So, and organizations are actively looking beyond traditional IT candidates to fill in, because cybersecurity is so diverse, in the sense that this is where your unique skills comes in. As a person, organization needs what? They need diverse strengths. That is communication, analysis, trainers, auditor, investigators, problem solvers. Now, it's not always about oh, I'm a pen tester, I'm an ethical hacker. I don't know, when people see cybersecurity, they think that is just what cybersecurity is all about. But you're wrong, because so many domains in cybersecurity require what? Different skills. Like the skills are spoken about, like communication, analysis, trainers, auditors, investigators, problem solvers. Now, that is why non-tech background strive in cybersecurity, because it requires a whole lot of other things. Now, if you can document properly and you can spot pattern, and also if you can manage risk or even teach people, you are valuable here. Now, let me repeat that again. If you can document clearly, spot patterns, manage risk, and also teach people, these skills are needed in cybersecurity. Now, the learning curve is real, but it is learnable with guidance and hands-on practice. That's all you need. Because if your strength is communication and detection and documentation, you know that You lie on the part of what? Making policies or mitigating risk and all of that. Because all of these skills are what these jobs what depend on. Because that's what recruiters need. That's what interviewers need. All of these skills that we have, that we pursue right now. Now, to break most of these errors where people say that, sorry about that. Now, to break most of these things, now there's a stereotype basically in the domain of cybersecurity that, oh, because I'm doing nursing or because I'm a civil engineer, like somebody said, oh, this shouldn't be my domain. And this is what totally wrong. I don't believe in this, because most of the human breaches in cybersecurity happens through human. So you can see like a whole big gap between that. Now, before we look into what specific roles and cybersecurity that we have, skills are a whole lot of skills come in here in a whole lot of ways, because organization need what? Diverse strength. Like I said, communication and analysis are the ground things that we need in several cybersecurity domain. Now, first of all, the numbers tells a story, because 74% of breaches are caused by human error, which means that the biggest security gap is often what? People and not what? Technology. This is why awareness and training are critical in every sector. Like for instance, if you have an education background and you're thinking, oh, cybersecurity is the right path for me, this is where you come in as what? An awareness and what? Training official. Because like I said, the number says it all. 74% of breaches are caused by what? Human error. Now, secondly, the entry points are more diverse than you think, because backgrounds in law, psychology, education, healthcare are even more relevant than just what? The normal techie person, because they bring what? Unique perspective for comprehensive security strategies. Now, on to the third one, we can see that career paths go far beyond what? Hacking and, oh, you being the good guy. We always think about what? Oh, black jacket and a dark room filled with green lines of code, all of that. That's what we always see cybersecurity as. Most people, that's what they always see cybersecurity as. Even I, before I started, that's what I see cybersecurity as. And there are several roles that include what? Compliance, social engineering, prevention, risk management, and also what? Awareness training. Now, each of these roles are critical to building a resilient security posture. So whether you have been teaching, managing teams, running business, or even working in healthcare, your skills are not just valid, but they are valuable in cybersecurity. Because I know most of us in our workplace, we've stopped a mistake from happening at work. Because guess what? That basic thing that you just did, from stopping a mistake from happening at work, is what we call in cybersecurity. We call it what? Risk prevention. That's exactly what cybersecurity is about. So it gives ground to what? Basically what? Every skill set that you have, it is needed here. Because none of it should be left out. Because basically in cybersecurity, that is what is needed. It is always important that you bring your skill set from your previous job or your non-tech background and showcase it here. That's what makes you different from just the normal techie person. So that's basically what all about that. Now, on this slide, you can see about 10 cybersecurity rules that are relevant for people from non-technical background. And also, I will walk you through each and every one of them, connect them with your skills. You might also have already done that. And I'll also briefly explain each rules to you and how they work day in, day out. No, so I can see Josephine says risk assessment and risk management healthcare. Exactly. So in risk management healthcare, you just be helping in managing the risk that is pertaining to what? To your organization. So you'll be following compliance rules from like HIPAA and all of that, securing patient data and working hand in hand with what the IT team in your healthcare organization. So now let's dive into some of these roles that I have up here. So first we have what? Security awareness and training specialist. Now this is great for what? Educators, for instance, and also HR or communicators. Basically, if you can speak to people, now this is your calling. If you feel like, oh, I can speak to people, I can explain this, I can make things that are hard easier for people to understand. Security awareness and training specialist is your thing, because what it entails what? Designing and delivering security training, running phishing simulations, and also what? Tracking awareness programs. And this is very important in the sense that I don't think there's any standard organization out there that doesn't do what? Security awareness, because most especially they bank on what? Phishing simulation, because phishing simulation is done month in, month out in all of these organizations. I know most of us that we work in most of these organizations, we've probably seen this phishing simulation where you are being sent particular test email and you click on it, then your IT team comes to tell you that, oh, you have to take this phishing test because you click on the phishing email. If any of us have experienced that, please let me just know in the chat box so I know I'm not alone. So on to the next one, we have what? Security compliance analyst. And I've seen someone here that says what? Compliance. So if you're here and this is for you, so this is ideal for those that have background in business, policy, or legal. And what it entails is what? Reviewing processes against standards like ISO 2700 or NIST. And also what? In this role, they document compliance evidence and also work hand in hand with what? Auditors. Now, on to the next one, we have what? IT auditor. Now, this is perfect for people with what? Accounting or processing review experience. In the sense that, yeah, what they do is what? They conduct internal audit of systems and control. Then they write report about what is being audited and also what? Give recommendation to the what? IT team. And this is another position that is needed in every organization, because you cannot just have your IT team and allow them to do what they want at any time. You need auditors. You need to be able to what? They need to be able to what? Account for whatever they are doing. That's where an IT auditor comes in. Now, on to the next one, we have what? Privacy analyst. Now, this is also a good fit for legal and those of us that are working in healthcare, like I've seen a whole lot of us, and policy professionals, because this entails ensuring data privacy laws like GDPR and HIPAA. Like I said, you ensure that these policies are what? Being followed, reviewed, and also advise them on the impact of policy breach. Because as a privacy analyst, you also exactly, Josephine, GDPR. Yes, so those are like the type of policies where you put in place in all of these organizations for them to be what? To have effective information technology practice and also a secured one. Now, another one, which is the most common one, and I'm sure most of us have come across, is SOC analyst. Now, for somebody like me, that have like an investigative mind and notice details, this is the most exciting thing to me. And I know some of us, this is also the most exciting to us. So if you feel like you like to dip into details, you notice like the little things, and you have an investigative mindset, I think SOC analyst is a perfect path for you, because this entails monitoring security alerts, analyzing logs, escalating incidents, and also what? Documenting findings. So security alert, security operation analyst, which is also SOC analyst, they to note they also work what 24 hours. So most of the time, the way it works in organization is on a shift basis, and the sense that so once a SOC analyst resume now, then he does like most of the time is always 7 or 8 hours. Then another person would take place, because you are monitoring the organization in what real time. So some of us enjoy doing this, and if you enjoy doing this, SOC analyst should be what you should be going for. So is there any of us that is interested in SOC analyst just like I am? Because that's one part I find very, very amusing. I liked, okay, yes, I can see Josephine. Josephine says me. So Josephine says me. I can see somebody iPhone. Okay. Alvin also says me. IJ says me. Roderick. So I'm not even alone. You know, a whole lot of people are with me. Okay, I like that. So all of us, we want to be investigators, which is also cool, because I think after the penetration testers, SOC analyst guys are like the next cool guys in cybersecurity. So you guys are free to join me on board as a SOC analyst. Tenalytics is open to receiving you guys. So on to the next one, we have what? Incident responder analyst. Now, for people with problem solving mindsets, that when something happens, the next thing that comes to your mind is what? How to fix it. Because this role entails investigating active security incidents and containing threats, and also what? Coordinating what? How to recover what has happened. Because the difference between SOC analyst and incident response analyst is that SOC analyst just what? Monitors it. Why incident responder, like the name, act, that is, they act on whatever incident has happened, then they recover what is done. So you can also see incident response analysts as people that are into forensic and digital forensics. So it is intertwined that way. It's just that incident responder is of a higher level than what SOC analyst in their own hierarchy. Now, on to the next one, we have what? Junior penetration tester. Now, for curious breaker fixes, like people that like to break things, you like to know what is inside this particular thing. You like to see the end goal of whatever you are doing. Penetration testers, what they do is they conduct what? Test to find what? Vulnerability in an organization, then write report about it, then recommend what? Fixes to whoever their client is. So you bring them in to come to your organization. You tell them, oh, I want you to look at my organization, look at my infrastructure, look at my information technology, basically my information system. Look at it. Tell me what loopholes you can find, and come back to me to tell me how I can fix it. So their own is basically what? Destroy and what? Come back to their clients to tell them, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. So if you are also on the part where you would like to be a penetration tester, let me see in the comment section. So I know who is competing with SOC analyst, guys. Anyone? Penetration testers in the house, future penetration testers in the house. I don't think you guys want to allow SOC analyst guys to win this. So penetration testers in the house, let me know in the comment section if that is the part that you think would suit you. Okay, nobody wants to go for penetration testing. Okay, that's okay. So on to the next one, we have what? Entry-level security consultants. Now, if you know that you have adaptability and client-facing problem solver, that is, you can solve problems talking to people, you can basically sell anything to them. That is, you advise them on what to do and what not to do based on what? Security purposes. So what this entails is that what? They advise organization on security improvement, they conduct risk assessment, and also what? Help implement solution for whatever security improvements that they are initiating. So they basically give advice to what organization. Oh, as an organization, you come to consult me and tell me, I want this and I want that. So they tend to advise this organization on what to do and how to do them, and also how to make it better. That's the work of security consultant. Now, on to the next one, we have network security engineer. Now, for those that are interested in network and also hands-on configuration, you'll be dealing with a whole lot of switches, a whole lot of server, just basically the network architecture. Now, what it entails is managing firewalls, configuring secure network architecture, and also they also do a little bit of monitoring. So as a network security engineer, you'll be dealing with a whole lot of communication protocol. So that's what network engineering, that's what it entails. Now, on to the last one on this list, we have cloud security engineer. Now, this is more of like an advanced role, but that doesn't mean entry-level engineers can't go for this, in the sense that for those that are ready to blend with cloud knowledge with security, if you have cloud knowledge and you want to blend it with security, so it entails securing cloud services, managing access control, and also monitoring cloud environment for vulnerabilities. Because to be very honest, most organizations now, everyone is going on cloud. So cloud security engineer, it's also another thing that is widely sought for in the job market as a cloud security engineer. Now, from these 10 roles, now I want everyone to feel to check all of these 10 roles and which one feels like a natural fit for you based on your background. Now, I would like everyone to drop it in the chat box so I see our future roles, and let's just talk about it. So everyone, if it's SOC analyst, just comment that SOC analyst. If it's IT compliance officer, risk manager, all of that, just let me know in the comment section. Let me know which one do you think naturally fits you. So, okay, Frederick asks if I can explain more on information security analyst. So basically, for information security analyst, these are the guys that fit into they are like the front end of securing, in the sense that they are like the first entrance of securing information. What they do is they help in managing, just basically they do like almost everyone's work. They take like a little bit bite from everyone's work, down to from SOC analyst to GRC to managing of firewalls. They do all of these things. So most people like to call them like jack of all trade, to be honest, because they take a little bit from everyone, then incorporate it into their own skill for them to become information security analyst. Basically you're securing information for your organization. So I can see Chinaza says, I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question for the person that asked. So I can see a whole lot of us, GRC, SOC analyst from Chinaza, Kelvin, GRC also, Josephine, security compliance and SOC analyst. And I like the fact that Josephine has, she has options. So between compliance and SOC analyst, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. All right, Frederick, you're welcome. You're welcome. So can you provide more details on incident responder role, please? Okay, yes, I can do that. So, but first, let me talk again about SOC on its own. That is Security Operation Center. That's the full meaning of SOC. So incident responder, they are what? They are under SOC, in the sense that SOC on its own has different tiers. There is a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and all like that. So everyone, tier one basically entails what? SOC analyst. And what SOC analyst, from what I said, what they do is to what? Just monitor logs, monitor the environment in real time, looking for, oh, threat, oh, I've been breached, oh, there's a breach somewhere, oh, let me look for what? The indicator of compromise. So that's what they look for as SOC analyst. Then when SOC analyst, when they find a threat from their monitoring, from their logging, from what they've seen, from their own exercise, they then pass it to what? The higher level. And the higher level is what? The guys that act as what? Incident responder. Now, from the name, like I've said, incident responder, that means when the SOC analyst has what? Already detected the threat, they pass it on to the what? Incident responder. Then the incident responder takes action and also what? Respond on it. So I hope that has been able to answer your question on incident responder analyst, Genevieve. Please let me know if that has been able to answer your question. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, like I said, I appreciate everyone, and also I see the roles that everyone is picking, and um I'm happy that it aligns with the skills that we have currently, and we here will be able to help you what to become what you want and how to overcome that. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy with the options that everyone is coming into. Oh, I think some of us have even done like our background knowledge to know what skills and what not that they need and what roles do they want to work as. So I'm really happy about that. Now knowing that, now knowing the names and everything, we know, oh, the roles that we want to go into and all of that. So with these roles that we know and what we know right now, so I'll be incorporating them into what? The skills that most of us, sorry about that, the skills that most of us have, and I'll just measure everything and put them together so you can see that what you're on the right path. Okay, somebody says, what qualification or certification do I need to get an entry level position? So for the most of the time, they are very good. But for the most of the time, as entry level, what I always advise is to what? Get your hands on what? So many hands on that, so many projects that is hands-on project that when recruiters, when they see you, they know that what you know what you are doing. So I think that's the first phase first before going into what certifications. They need to know that what you know what you are doing. That is, you know what you say you can do. So project speaks for you because all of your projects will be in your portfolio. So when recruiters talk to you and they want to get to see you, they want to get to know what you know, they ask for your portfolio first. So all these projects are what you have to put on your portfolio. So me, I always say project first before certification. Then you can start going for certifications like CompTIA Security Plus, ISC2 Square, CISA, and all of that. But I want to advise you project first because our main program in cybersecurity here at Analytics is what project consuming because we take our project what very, very important. So I hope that has answered your question. Let me continue with what we have next. Like I said, now knowing the names and a bit of what each of these roles involve is a great start. To be honest, is a great start. I won't lie about that. But here is where it gets interesting. What if I could match your current background directly to those roles? So now we'll be unlocking your cybersecurity power. That's what I just call this basically. So let's make it practical. For example, if you're in law, if you're studying law or you're like the legal department, now you can go into professions like what? Cyber law, compliance, privacy. That is, you turn regulation into clear what? Controls and evidence. You start to take regulations, you start to impose them on data, on organization, on what they exist on. Because privacy in this digital world, privacy is so key that when your consumers know that they can't depend on you, that is, they can't trust you, the privacy has been breached, your value is gone. So you can see where law and policy comes in. So being in cyber law, being a compliance analyst or a privacy analyst, all of these things are in your hands. So anyone here from a law background or policy or accounting, let me know in the chat box so I know this is for you. And also on to the next one, we have what? Education. So if you are from the education background or education domain, like I said before, security awareness training is something that is for you, and also what? Cybersecurity research. Because in this domain, you can teach, build programs, track behavioral change also. Because when you track behavioral change, you'll be able to what? Understand the security awareness that you want to carry on. So imagine somebody without an education background and wants to take all of this. So your education background puts you to an advantage on this. So on to the next one, we have what? Business, finance, basically banking. Okay, I can see Roderick. So immediately I was about to get this. That's when Roderick just said banking immediately, because he, as a person, as a finance person, as a business person, what you should be looking at is GRC and what? Risk management, because it is a natural fit for your profile. So in this case, you quantify risk, create policies, map processes, you control those processes. So you create risk according to the to whatever framework your organization is under. When you create all these processes, then you map out the processes. Also, by what? Controlling them, because you have to what? Attain control to all these background. This wouldn't be a difficult domain for you to venture in. It wouldn't be at all. So on to the next one, which most of us here can relate to, because I know that we have like a whole lot of workers from the healthcare here. So I've been saying that all along: nurse, nursing, doctors. I've been seeing all of that. So what this helps with is privacy. You can venture into the domain of what? Privacy, and also what? Clinical data protection, because you start to guard what? Patient data, and also map out processes in what? Ensuring that those data are safe, and also what? Access control. I mean, I think you guys can prove me wrong. My guys in the healthcare domain, you can prove me wrong with, in the sense that there are some access that not everyone in your organization, as you're working in the healthcare, that they have. So who is in charge of what? Implementing all this access control? Who do you think is in charge of them? Who do you think is in charge of what? Safeguarding, protecting all these digital data of patients? Because I know we all know how important these patient informations are, and how they cannot get out of our domain, because it costs what? A whole lot of problems for everyone in the organization, because it won't only hit the cybersecurity personnel there, it would also hit everyone. So that is that about the healthcare. And I know I can see a question from Bash. Bash says experience in transportation, but background was in computer engineering. Yes. Now this is also like, because you have a background in computer engineering already, and with your other experience in transportation, you can leverage on so many other domains in cybersecurity, because now you can intertwine your two skills that you have at the moment and use it to what, to venture into multiple domains that you think you can handle. That is a natural fit for you. Okay, Josephine says, what role out of 10? Okay, Josephine, I'm going to you're a nurse, right? So under the healthcare, we have what, privacy analyst, we have what, clinical data protection also. Then we also have what, device security, like people that what, secure the machines that are used in healthcare industry, basically. So you can venture into what, one of those three. Okay, can venture into what, one of those three, because I want you to just know that what, you are not what, starting from zero, because all the skills you have right now, you can take them to what, and bring them to what, cybersecurity, and what, excel very well in it, because all these skills are what needed. It can't be left out, because it is very important that what, we put in the skills, our soft skills, or skills from our what, previous job, because what, it makes us stand out. That's one thing about cybersecurity. It creates space for everyone. Now, let me now tell you something. Hiring managers love these cross-cutting skills, in the sense that communicating, documentation, attention to detail, critical thinking, and what, empathy for users. So all of these skills, what, hiring managers what, like them, because they notice them when you're talking, from your experience, from your CV, from what you can offer. So they notice all of these things. Okay, according to what Margaret says, can we get the recording after this meeting? Yes, definitely, you can get the recording. But I need everyone to fill this. You see like a form that's been going on in the comment section. So if you feel that, you'll be able to get the recording. So and it also marks at your attendance, but also you need to what, finish filling the forms. That helps you to get what, the recording and other stuff that comes with it. So as I was saying, all these skills are what hiring managers notices about participants. And once they see that you have all of these skills, you can adapt, you have persistence, you're someone that keep learning, just someone that has proper communication skills, which is very important, because you'll be working with teams. Most of the time, you won't be working alone. So attention to detail, all of these things. For example, if you are great at documentation, you will excel at what, incident timeline and what, audit evidence, because you are great at documenting from your job. Then imagine you combining that with a cybersecurity knowledge and a cybersecurity experience that you would have with us. You're going to excel at what, at audit, just auditing, IT audit, policy creation, documentation. That is what you can get from that. So, and also, if you are strong with like empathy and training, or you have the passion to do this, to teach people, to guide them in particular way, trust me, crushing security awareness and what, phishing simulation, it is going to be easy for you. It's going to be as if you are born with it. So that's that about that. And also, if you have pattern spotting skills, like you enjoy noticing things. Oh, when you look at something, you can see a deeper meaning to all of these things. Now, analyzing logs and what, threat hunting will be your thing. So you start to analyze log as a SOC analyst. So I can see some people have couple of questions for me in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, I can see Olise says background in civil engineering, but currently doing project scrum masters and agile project management. I'm trying to go into cybersecurity. So because you are good at managing, you are good at with your experience, because you said you're currently doing what, APM, agile project manager. You're good at communication, you're good at what, all of these things. So you can go into security awareness, you can go into IT auditing, because you're good at what, managing all of these things, putting them in their place. You work with what, timelines. So I hope you understand me, Olise. And Bash also says I have 11 years in transportation, but background was MSc in engineering. But which role would you recommend for me? So as much as I would like to recommend a role for you, but I still think you need to these roles. You need to properly look at your other skills. It doesn't have to be a tech skills, like your other skills that you think you what, that is embedded in you. Then those are the skills what that you would use to judge all of this. Because with someone that has like hospitality in them, I think going into the education part of cybersecurity wouldn't be a bad fit. Oh, Deborah, I'm sorry I missed your question. Please, can you pop up that again, Deborah? So there have been a whole lot of questions, so I might be missing some of that. So I'm sorry about that. So for someone that studied business administration, so for business administration, so you can go into, because you already have a background in business, finance, going into the auditing part of cybersecurity would be a great addition for you. The auditing part, the risk part would be a great addition for you as someone who does that. So all of these skills are what they are not a waste, just basically. They aren't a waste at all. So basically, another thing that I would like to say, I'll still come back to the questions, everyone. I'll come back to the questions, but let me just round up with this, then I'll come back to taking up all of our questions. Now, as a non-techie, how do you strive in cybersecurity? First thing first, a learning mindset, because in cybersecurity, trust me, the learning is continuous. You would keep you because this technology space evolves. Because today you can just wake up and see that, oh, AI is no more trending and there is another new thing, or this and this is no more trending. Oh, there's an updated version of this. So you always have to keep yourself what, in a loop, so you don't get left out. Because trust me, you always want to be updated on everything going on. That way, you then trim your knowledge and everything to be updated, so you are aware of any latest development in this domain. Now, another thing is what, to stay ahead of curve. Now, the cybersecurity landscape is dynamic and ever changing. So to stay relevant, you need to commit. It's just the same thing. You need to commit what? You need to commit to what? Continuous learning by keeping up with what? Emerging threats, new technology, evolving best practices through industry news, courses, and a whole lot of other things. Just staying ahead of the curve. You learn every day in cybersecurity, because what? You cannot know it all. Now, another thing is what? Building of your network. I think what this is something that spreads across what, every domain of work. Building your network, because networking is vital in cybersecurity. It builds like a strong connection I mean, if you want to build a strong connection, you need to what? Attend all of these conferences, join online forums, engage with other people via LinkedIn or other platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, all of these things. Reach out to people, reach out to your mentors, all of that. Seek all of these things. And lastly, which is one of the most important part of it, gain what? Practical experience. I'm not going to lie, theories are very important, but there's going to be nothing like what? Hands-on experience. That is when you start working on what? Project. Because that's what to show for in cybersecurity. That's your what to show for. When you start working on all of these projects, because in analytics here, we give us our participant project all the time, project to work on. After each section is done, you have a project waiting for you to work on. So that way it goes to your portfolio. So before I go into the last thing, let me just go back to a couple of questions. I know there are a whole lot of questions waiting for me. Okay, from the person that says you didn't answer my, can I get a job with the project since I have no experience? Definitely. Now, what most recruiters are looking at is what you can do. Because from your portfolio, if they can see like the series of projects you have and it's fitting with their roles, with the roles that they are looking for, you are good to go. As far as you know what you are doing. So project speaks a lot. To be honest, project is your action in cybersecurity. Like it is a very, very important part of it. That's why I keep talking about project, because I like to see it as a what you show for. That's what project is all. That's what your project will do for you. So I hope I'm able to answer your question, Deborah. So let me just take another question. I studied food science and tech, and I work as quality control person. Is there any program for me? Yes, definitely. So as you work as quality control, you can also work as a what? IT auditor. You can work as a what? Compliance officer. You can work as a what? GRC analyst. So there are a whole lot of things to work with you because of your background. And Ikechukwu says, a registered nurse, but I never practiced but ran business. But as far as while learning as a registered nurse, you must have developed some skills. You have some skills. So all of those skills are what you put together to what? Then you use it to form your bid in the what? Healthcare sector. Because in healthcare sector, we have data protection analyst, we have privacy analyst, we have what? Device security analyst. Because of that background you have in healthcare, all of these things will be what? Will be easy for you, because it fits into your what? Previous experience. And same as Frederick, because with Frederick, he has a teaching experience. So you can combine all of these things that I've said right now to the person that just asked, then add what? Add security awareness analyst to yours. And you can also be a phishing simulator. That is, you'll be conducting phishing simulation for what? Companies. So let me see if James Coleman says, which qualification do I need for NSC? I'm in the UK into healthcare, but wish to switch. Okay, if you mean NSC, do you mean NSC for engineers? Coleman, I need to get your question very well. Okay, I can clearly see from Gilbert, currently working as a pharmacy assistant here with the pharmacy assistant, like policy. You can go into privacy or data protection analyst also in healthcare. You can go into that. So before I like go any further with the questions again, I'd just like to show us like a little bit of what we have in store for us, in the sense that we want to just show you a little bit of what we show our what our students enjoy with us based on projects. You know, I've been emphasizing on project this, project that. So I want to just show us like a little bit of it, so we have a taste of what I've been talking about. So I think somebody hands is up right now. I think somebody, okay, that's all. So with all of this, I've been saying, oh, with this skill, can I get work here? Can I get work there, work there? So I need to emphasize that firstly, you need to gain what the technical skills that are needed. And when I mean by the technical skills, that's where we come in, because we train you for that. So these technical skills are very, very important, because we train you to use your skills, and the skills we will teach you from the skills you will get from us. Imagine combining that, then you are a strong hold already in the cyberspace. Your skill and the skill that Analytics gives to you from our program, from our cybersecurity program. So that's just, you need the combination of that. So you will get more about all of these technical skills later on. I just want to show you a little bit of this project that I've been talking about, just a little bit, so we know that projects are really important and all of this. So first thing first, let me give you like a quick taste of an hands-on in cybersecurity, what it looks like. I will walk you through like a mini case study using a tool called Shodan. Now, Shodan, some of us might have been hearing Shodan. Now, Shodan is a tool that basically is a tool, and is also what, a search engine for internet connected devices. That is, when I mean internet connected devices, I mean servers, webcams, routers, and even industrial systems. So it's, what Shodan basically does is what, it indexes publicly exposed devices, open ports, services, and also what, software version. So without this big grammar I'm saying, what basically Shodan does is that what, it shows you devices on the internet that are what, that are open to everyone. That is, everyone can connect to it. And as someone who is interested in cybersecurity, isn't that a threat? Do you think that is a good fit? No, because why is everyone able to access your personal things, your organization equipment? Why is everyone able to access that? So what Shodan does for us is that what, it searches around the internet to look for what, devices, ports that are what, enabled. So that is what it looks for. Now, you might be asking why this case study. Now, many companies never check what is on the internet. That is what the internet already reveals about them. Most of them don't check them. So this case study uses what, Shodan to simulate what, eternal attack lens. That is to spot what, exposed devices, misconfiguration, and outdated services. That's what this case study would teach us about. So now let's go over the case study overview. Now, our task is to use what, Shodan like an attacker would, to to get a catalog of assets and accesses, exposure, priority fixes, and basically what services that are outside about an organization. So you check what ports are open. So when I mean port, I know most of us here were not really tech savvy. So when I mean port, so port enables communication between devices. That is, for instance, I'm leaving my house to go to my friend's house. Now, passing through the door, that's what port represent when it comes to these devices or services. It's just basically the mode of entrance. So imagine your CCTV mode of entrance is just open for the whole internet to see. That is a big deal. So this showdown, think of it like a Google, but instead of searching for websites, it searches for devices that are connected on the internet, like CCTV, cameras, printers, and smart gadgets. So often in cybersecurity, we call it what? The search engine for what? Internet of Things. That's what we call it. So let me just reshare my screen again so we see how Shodan works and what it looks like. Yes, and again, I'll still take everyone's question later on. I'll take everyone's question. Again, please don't forget to fill the form that's been sent so you can get the recording of the session. And don't forget to finish filling it, please. So basically, we'll go to shodan.io. So like I said about Shodan, so this is the interface of Shodan. This is what it looks like. And in our search button here, this is where we search for whatever we want to search for on the internet about Shodan. So the first thing I'm going to prompt for it to search is what? CCTV. Let's see open CCTV down on the internet for everyone to connect to. So you can see there are about 3,491 open CCTV for connection just on the internet. And by my left-hand side here, you can see a whole lot from Indonesia, Thailand, United Kingdom, United States, Bangladesh. So for Indonesia, you can see 936. For Thailand, you can see 662. For United Kingdom, you can see 237. For United States, you can see 161. For Bangladesh, you can see 115. So these numbers are the what amount of CCTV that what enabled on the internet that you can connect to. And these are what their IP addresses of each of these CCTV. You can see when you scroll down, you can even see a whole lot more. You can see information about them. Just basically, imagine the organization you're trying to protect, and all of their information is out here this way. That's bad. It's bad for everyone. It's bad for the cybersecurity specialist and also bad for the organization. And I know before I was talking about what open port. So this is like several open ports that are opened. That is ways that it is going to communicate with all of these things. And we can see what top organization names. That is top organization in which their CCTV is what enabled. So imagine all of this information out there to attackers. Because as a cybersecurity analyst, I'm going to check if my company's information or devices are in all of these things are exposed for individuals to be able to connect to at any time. So you can furthermore filter out. Okay, so after CCTV, you can then specify, oh, I only want to see for certain country. So I'm just going to space it, then type out country with colon. What country should we do? Let's do US. So this is for US. It's only going to show me what? It's only going to show me what? Devices from US alone. And from US alone, you can see from here what? 153. Then you see their top cities. Whatever city you want to search for, or what you are looking for, what you are trying to see. So you can also see information about what the company is running on, what type of device the CCTV is, and all of that. So from getting what type of device the CCTV is, now you would know that if there is something wrong with that particular type of device, an attacker will leverage on, oh, since I know that this so company is using this type of CCTV, and there is a security breach, there's a security leak with that CCTV, there's something I can exploit. Or maybe they are using an older version of that CCTV. The attacker will embark on that because he already know, you've given him information already to know that, oh, there's a leakage somewhere. I don't know if you guys are getting me. So with all of this information, the attacker will leverage on this information to do what? All of these things. So that is why as organization, we need to, as cybersecurity professionals that work for our organization, we need to know things about our organization that is out there. Because all of this information, they are just free. But I just don't want to click on any of these things to avoid revealing anything, because this is just for what? Educational purpose only. So, and another reason why I picked to share this with all of us here is because information gathering is another big aspect, because that's where most of these big attacks start from. Because, oh, they know that something about this organization is out there, then they leverage on that. For instance, I can query for another thing again that would allow access, remote access from where I am to another place. Let's say to systems, to devices in America. So there's something called RDP, which is what? Remote Desktop Protocol, which is used for what? Remote access. That is, you can log in from here to another device in America using that protocol. It's a protocol that allows you to have access to a particular service or a particular system remotely. So that's basically what that does. So what I can do now is I'll just requery my search again. So I'll just do port 3389. So for port 3389, this will show us what? So this port 3389 represents what? Remote access. That is the RDP I spoke about. That is remote what? Desktop protocol. Then I can specify what? The country. Let me specify for Nigeria. Country. So it is going to show me, okay, with this, it's just going to show you what? All devices in Nigeria that you can log in with it remotely. But some of them might be on a port, or they might just be something that is up for a service. So all of these things, why we're doing all of these things is just what? To show us that information gathering is an essential part of cybersecurity. So as a cybersecurity specialist, you need to know what your organization is putting out there. You need to know information about your organization that is out there. So imagine all of these things out there about your organization. So first things first, information gathering. You need to get your facts right about your organization. You need to know what you want to allow to be on the internet and what you want to keep private about that. So that is that on Shodan, and that's that about Shodan and everything on Shodan. So basically, so right now, since we've spoken about Shodan, we've spoken about how information gathering is we need to know what is out there about our company and all of that. So from here, I would like to take a pause so we can turn all of this interest into a plan. That is, if you are thinking, where do I start? How fast can I get a job ready, and all of that? What's the next plan for me? Priscilla has like the specifics and the timeline, and also the mentorship and every question basically about how to get started, what is next, and where you'll be going to. So Priscilla has all of that, and she'll be sharing with you on every of all this information. Meanwhile, I'm still on this call to answer to all your questions. So right now, I'll just pass it on to what Priscilla.
All right, thank you so much, Tohib. It was quite an insightful session. I could see all the questions in the chat, a lot of people with interest in cybersecurity and how to get started. So what I want to do now is to show everybody the skills you need to get into cybersecurity. Now, you've seen how interesting cybersecurity can be and how, there are paths for people without technical background or experience. We've seen nurses on the call and all of that looking to get into cybersecurity. So what are the skills you need to learn basically? Okay, so let's jump into it right away. I would also, show you how you can get started, as a cybersecurity professional if you're choosing to learn here at Tenalytics. But just to confirm, can everybody see my screen at this point? If you can see my screen, kindly leave a yes in the chat. Meanwhile, if you've got any question, you can leave them in the chat and Tohib will also take your questions while I carry on with the presentation. Okay, thank you so much. So what are the skills you need to learn basically? Right here on my screen, just take a look at my screen, you'd see what is called the key learning areas, right? It contains all the details of the skills you need to get, to transition seamlessly into cybersecurity. And the first thing is overview of cybersecurity roles and technologies. So here at Analytics, the way our cybersecurity program is structured is that it gives you insight into really, really insightful roles, really interesting roles in cybersecurity. We have the SOC analysis, we have the pen testers or the ethical hackers, and we have the GRC professionals, right? Now, the first thing you have to learn is all of these roles, the tools used in these roles and the technologies. That is what we start with, so you have an idea of what you're getting into. Then you get to learn information security principles principles and risk management, basically the foundation or the basics of cybersecurity, which is the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? Then you also get to learn introduction to network security, threats, and vulnerabilities, the tools that you can use to spot vulnerabilities and threats and all of that. And before I go ahead, let me just mention that the way you learn here at Analytics is actually strategic, because you're beginners, you're just looking to transition into the world of cybersecurity. You need to be very strategic about it. And one strategy that we've been able to put in place is to ensure that you're learning by working on projects. You're learning by working on case studies. You're not just coming to gain theoretical knowledge, right? You're not just coming to learn, oh, what is the CIA triad? What is SOC analysis and all of that? The way you learn is for you to gain experience, so much so that after learning, you are able to apply to jobs. You don't need to go out there looking for internship after learning before, you get into the job market. So that is one strategy in place. Tech is, broad, like I said earlier, and getting into it, you definitely need to be very, very strategic so that you achieve your goal of actually getting a job, right? So after you've been able to learn introduction to network security, threats, and vulnerabilities, you get to learn SOC analysis in details. Now, who is a SOC analyst? Just think of a SOC analyst. If you've ever been to a very big mall or supermarket, it has a CCTV cameras, and there's just a big operation centers, that have all the CCTV cameras connected to a central monitor or screens. And it has somebody basically there behind the screen, trying to spot unusual activities and all of that. That is who the SOC analyst is. The SOC analyst is just there, to spot vulnerabilities, unusual activities, and quickly block them before the attackers, before the bad guys prey on these vulnerabilities, right? Then you have your threat detection and response. That is something you also get to learn. When you spot a threat, how do you respond to it? How do you even detect a threat as a cybersecurity professional, right? That is something you learn here at Analytics. Then you get to learn incident response and threat intelligence lifecycle. You also learn your OSINT gathering. That is the open source intelligence gathering. Then you get to learn about malware analysis and threat actor profiling. Okay, then you get to pen testing or the ethical hackers. Now, just think of ethical hackers as legal hackers, right? You're basically thinking as a bad guy, as the ethical hacker. And the whole point is just so that you're a step ahead of these bad guys. You know, the way the real bad hackers, how smart they are, how they try to prey on vulnerabilities and all of that. You as a pen tester, you are basically one step ahead of them or steps ahead of them, in that you get into the company with their permission and all of that. You're trying to break into their system, right? You're trying to break into their database, into their applications and all of that, just so that the whole point of doing that is just so you're able to spot loopholes, so you're able to spot, weaknesses in the systems and vulnerabilities, and you block them before the real ethical hackers, get to prey on this vulnerabilities. And that is why you keep getting application software updates on your device, on your laptop, on your mobile phone, any application whatsoever, you keep seeing updates. And the whole point is just when the pen tester has been able to spot a certain vulnerability that the real hacker can actually prey on, they work on it and then they ship out updates for you to install. So if you're not big on installing updates as they come, that is something you actually need to consider doing right from now. Because if a software has been updated and you have the previous version, the hackers can actually prey on that, and get to hack into your software, right? So you get to learn introduction to pen testing. You have your vulnerability scanning and network reconnaissance, exploitation techniques, right, that various hackers would use. Then you get to the GRC part of things, governance, risk, and compliance, right? And then you have your compliance audits and policy development, security awareness, training, and reporting. So the way the cybersecurity program is structured is just so that you have insight into all of these roles, right? And at the end of the day, during your internship here at Analytics, you get to choose Okay, which one of them do I want to niche down into? Do I prefer SOC analysis? Do I prefer pen testing? Or I don't want to do so much technicalities. I just want to go into, GRC part of things, right? That is what the cybersecurity program here at Analytics gives to you. Then just take a look at the right part of my screen. You'd see some of the tools and technologies that you get to learn. You have your Wireshark, your Metasploit, your Bob Sweat, Zap, and the likes. And the good thing is you're learning from the very beginning. You're learning from scratch. And don't forget, you learn by working on projects so that at the end of the day, you are able to go ahead to apply to jobs, right? So I decided to put this report here so that you have an understanding of how important a cybersecurity professional is in any and every organization. Now, according to Axios and Cybersecurity Job Outlook, US cybersecurity job listings jumped 12% from May 2024 to April 2025, with over 514,000 roles posted, right? And guess what? Yet, there are only enough qualified professionals to fill 74 out of every 100 jobs. So if you're looking to go into cybersecurity, now is absolutely the right time. There's a huge demand for cybersecurity professionals, but then enough people do not have the skills. Just imagine there are only enough qualified professionals to fill 74 out of every 100 jobs. So if you want to get into cybersecurity, now is the best time, where there's still a demand and where there's still a want for skills and cybersecurity professionals. Then globally, the shortfall remains staggering because a shortage of 4.8 million cybersecurity professionals persists, right? So you can see that there's actually a very, very huge demand. There's a market for cybersecurity professionals. So now that you've been able to understand that, as somebody without a technical background, without a computer science related background, you can get into cybersecurity. There are certain roles you can get into, and there's a demand. I need you to start, planning how you can get into cybersecurity as soon as possible. And guess what? Across businesses last year, 87% experienced a breach last year, with many losing over $1 million due to lack of skilled cybersecurity staff. I hope I've been able to show you with this that absolutely, if you're thinking of getting into cybersecurity, you're actually right on track, and it is the best decision ever. So I left a link to the report, so that when you get an access to this slide, you can take your time, go over the report and all of that. All right. So we're just going to continue. Why should this matter to you? Basically, it all boils down to the fact that demand is surging. The demand for cybersecurity professionals is surging, right? And now is the time for you to be amongst the first people to fill key high impact roles in cybersecurity, right? Then let's talk about analytics and how you get to learn. Right now, remember, first of all, you're learning by working on projects, right? And with projects, you gain experience, because come to think of it, the way mid-level staff are able to move up the ladder to senior level and all of that, it's just by the experience they've been able to gather over the years. And what is giving them the experience? It is just the projects they've worked on, the task that they've been able to work on. And that is how you learn here at Analytics, basically. You learn by working on projects, you learn by working on real world case studies. And it's a total, the learning duration is for 8 months, right? You get to learn 6 months in class and 2 months of internship. Now, your learning absolutely will be done with Analytics, but your internship will be done with a sister company called Amdari. Now, we all know that Analytics is registered in Canada, and it also accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. Just in case, for some of us, you're wondering, okay, I need Canadian-based experience and all of that. With Analytics, you get that, right? Then your internship is done with a company that is registered in London, UK, to be precise. So if any recruiter, after you're done learning and all of that, if any recruiter is selling you or you need UK-based experience. With Dari, you're able to get that. Now, just a little bit detail about the structure of the live classes. We run a blended learning approach, when it comes to learning. You have your live class where you get to interact with facilitators such as Tohib, you get to work on projects and all of that. And in these live classes, we have the morning schedule and the evening schedule. So the morning schedule is basically from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and it is advisable for people in Europe, UK, Africa, right? Then we have the evening class, which is for people in North America, Canada, US, and the like. So it's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So regardless of wherever you are, we have you covered. All you need to do is just pick the timeline that works for you or the schedule that works for you. If you'd prefer the morning class, you're good to go. If you prefer the evening class, you are also good to go. Then with your live classes, you also have the self-paced. Now, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, because we are big on flexibility here at Analytics, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you get to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays, right? So that you don't need to come to a 3 hours class every Saturday for 6 months, right? And then to also ensure flexibility to buttress on that so that you're not losing out at any point in time and you're building the skills, you're working on the necessary project. We have the self-paced, right? With the self-paced, you get to learn at your convenience while having access to the facilitator and instructor to ask your questions. So from Sunday through to Friday, you learn at your pace, basically. And like I said, maybe you're back from work on Sunday and all of that, and you have some time to dedicate into learning 2 hours, 1 hour. You just need to access your self-paced resources, and all you need to do is work on your projects and learn, right? Then we also have mentorship sessions and all of that. And bear in mind that all sessions here at Analytics, all live sessions are recorded and made available to you as well. What this means is you have a lifetime access to the learning materials here at Analytics, right? Now, just to also talk a bit about the strategy that will land you the job. Now, I've shown you, the key learning areas that you need to learn if you're looking to get into cybersecurity. But is learning that just enough, right? There's a strategy you need to put in place as a beginner. And the first thing, like Tohib said, and like I'm going to reiterate here on the call, is for you to learn. And whilst learning, you need to stay focused. A lot of people like to, have the idea, oh, it is whilst they're learning cybersecurity, they feel like, oh, it is AI engineering that is in vogue. That is what I need to get into. That isn't going to get you anywhere. So whilst you're learning, if you're choosing to get into cybersecurity, while you're learning, you need to stay absolutely focused, right? Then you also need to position. You've learned a couple of people, 1,001 people are also learning. So how do you position? How do you stand out? As a nurse looking to get into cybersecurity, as an educator looking to get into cybersecurity, without the technical skills or computer-related background, but you've learned here at Analytics, how do you stand out? How do you get above the curve? How do you become competitive, right? This is where positioning and employability comes into play. So here at Analytics, we have a job equation formula, right? To get a job, every single tech professional, the technical skills is not just enough, or are not just enough for you. Your pen testing and all of that. A lot of people have these technical skills, but is everybody able to get a job? No. So with employability, we have what is called the CV revamp here at Analytics, such that the first thing 2 months into your training program, we're ensuring that your CV is structured according to a set standard for a cybersecurity professional CV, right? So you structure your CV according to that format in such a way that it beats the applicant tracking system any day, anytime. And guess what? Even on your CV, remember I said that you're learning by working on projects, and that is giving you the experience. So that way you're able to have Analytics as your work experience on your CV. So we encourage our participants to have Analytics as their work experience. They're able to include in their CV that they're working as consultants or contractors, and that is because of the way you are learning by working on projects. What we've done is to, provide you with a job description that would summarize all the projects you're working on here at Analytics so you can can have that on your CV, right? That is what we do with our CV review and revamp. And you see all the multiple roles that Tohib showed you. If you're looking to apply to any of them, you need to ensure that your CV is tailored to a role. You don't want to use a generic CV to apply to multiple roles, or you want to apply for a SOC analyst role, you send in one CV. You want to apply for a pen tester role, you send in the same CV. That's not the way it works, right? Every job description has keywords peculiar to the job, and your CV has to contain those keywords. So that is something you get to learn here at Analytics. Then you have your LinkedIn optimization. We have a couple of people, beginners, that have been able to get jobs via LinkedIn. And that is because of the way recruiters are filling up roles in companies these days, right? Instead of going to place an advert on a, job board and all of that, they just go on LinkedIn and search for a cybersecurity analyst and all of that. And if your profile is well optimized, your name pops up. So we actually focus on ensuring that you're good on that front. Your LinkedIn profile is well optimized. You're serving as a thought leader on LinkedIn and somebody with authority already in cybersecurity. Then we have portfolio. Just think about it. Say you have this car and it's having issues, you want to get it fixed. Now, you came across somebody that says, oh, I have a certificate from Harvard, a mechanical engineering certificate from Harvard and all of that, and I can fix your car. Give me your car. And there's somebody else that says, oh, this is my workshop. I've been able to fix this car, fix a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, and all of that. If you give me your car, because you can see that I've been able to fix other cars, I will be able to fix your car. It is a no-brainer that you just go to the person with the workshop. That is what portfolio does for you. As a beginner, somebody transitioning, somebody learning, you definitely need to have a portfolio, because if you're interviewing for a role, and the interviewer wants to see, okay, what has this person done as a cybersecurity professional? What impact have they had on any company? What value have they delivered? The only place they go to check is your portfolio. Right. And that is why in tech, it is always emphasized that it is your experience over certification. Right. So at this point, as beginners, you need to focus on getting the technical skills, getting a portfolio that you can showcase to any recruiters. And it is those projects that you're working on here at Analytics that you're able to have right there on your portfolio, right? And this is one way that you get to position. Then we have mentorship as well. So with mentorship, we're able to ensure that, people that have walked the talk, people that have taken the cybersecurity program and they've gotten jobs, you are able to pick their brain. You're able to come learn from them, and all of that with mentorship. Then you have interview preparation, right? Say you have an interview coming up, your CV has been well optimized, you've applied for a job, and you have an interview coming up. All you need to do is just book for a prep session, and you have an expert prepping you for that interview, right? There are approaches with which you answer, who are you? Can I meet you? Right? And there are approaches with which you answer, competency-based questions, right? During your interview prep, you get access to all of this, so that you're able to ace your interviews. Then you have the job reference letter. Bear in mind that on your CV, you already have that you're working for Analytics as a consultant or a contractor. That is your work experience. Now, the interviewer would reach back to us for us to, provide reference letter. And that is something we are willingly doing for our participants, so that you're able to stand a chance to get a job. Then we have on-the-job support. So all of this in place is how you position, apart from the technical skills. So when you have all of this in place, you then begin to apply like a machine, but with precision. Now, remember that, like I said, your CV has to be tailored to every application. You don't reuse a CV, right? You need to learn how to tailor your CV to every single application. Then you get to make 10 quality applications per day, right? And you also tap into paid and hidden job market. So by paid and hidden job market, what I mean is here at Analytics, we've been able to subscribe to premium job boards, right, across the UK, US, Canada, so that apart from the regular job boards, you have access to your LinkedIn, your Glassdoor, and the likes. You also have access to premium job boards that you don't have to pay for, because all you need to do is just apply, right? So all of this put in place, and you are able to get a job job just like every other person that has gotten jobs here at Analytics. And this always seems impossible until it is done. You hear, oh, cybersecurity, can I get into it and all of that, right? But then we have some success stories that I've put here in the slide. So if you want to take your time to listen to all the success stories, make sure that you're filling the feedback form so that as soon as this recording is available and my slide is available, you get access to it. But for want of time, I would enjoin you to fill up the form so that you can go through all of these testimonials of people that have gotten jobs. You can see the first person here on my screen, how I got a job within 60 to 70% completion rate of my cybersecurity training. So if this person can do it without prior experience, we have a lot of nurses here on the call. This person did not have any technical experience. How much more you? All right. So please fill the form so that you get access to this. And this is just to show you a bit about the job thingy, how you need to ensure that you're getting the technical skills and the employability skills, right? So there are more testimonials here on my slide, right? So the juicy part, basically, how do you get started, really? So you've heard about cybersecurity, you've heard about certain roles that you can go into. What are the next steps you should take? I've shown you that there's a huge demand for cybersecurity professionals. So what are the next steps? So we have a class starting on the 6th of September, where we get to teach you all the details, where we get to hold your hand and all of that. And the next step for you to take after hearing what cybersecurity entails is basically to join our next cohort that is starting on the 6th of September. Now, I heard somebody asking about the price of the training and all of that. Now, the price of the training program is 1,000 US dollars, right? 1,000 US dollars. But we have a discount ongoing. So with the discount, instead of paying 1,000 US dollars, it's a 25% discount. You get to pay 750 US dollars. That will give you all the technical skills, a lifetime access to Analytics, all the employability skills. Whether you're done with the program or not, you can always reach back to Analytics and have access. With this 25% discount, all you need is just 750 US dollars. But there's a catch. This discount is not open to everybody. It is only open to, 20 people looking to take advantage of the 25% discount. Then once that slot is filled up, the discount goes to 20%. So instead of 750, you will now have to pay 800 US dollars. And as soon as that is filled up, it goes down to 15%, where you get to pay 850 US dollars. Because you're on this call, I'll urge you to take advantage of the 25% discount because we still have some slots available, and that is the early discount, right? So my colleague has put the link in the chat, so that you're able to have access to the payment structure and the payments plan. And one very juicy part, right? We have flexible payment plans. So you see this discounted amount of 750 US dollars. If you're looking to start on the 6th of September, you don't need to bother about paying the large chunk, right? We have payment plans ranging from 1 to 5. So we have the one-time payment, we have the two-time payment, 3 monthly payments, 4 monthly payments, as well as 5 monthly payments. So if you click on the link, that my colleague is sharing, it takes you straight up to the payments platform, which I'll be showing you in a moment, right? So I'll show you the payments platform and then teach you how you can go ahead to secure a slot with a 25% discount before that gets filled up, all right? So I'm resharing my screen and I believe that you can all see my screen at this point. So as soon as you click on that link that is right there in the chat, you get access to the payments platform. And the focus, if you're looking to go for cybersecurity, just scroll down and look for cybersecurity program and then click on buy now, right? And meanwhile, if your mind isn't made up yet, if you want to go for cybersecurity or any of our other training programs, just join our community. On our community, you get a link to clarity sessions. So on clarity sessions, we get to take a look at your experience and your background, and we help you decide on which training program will suit you, right? But what you want to do at this moment is try to secure a discounted slot with the 25% discount before that gets filled up. All right, so as soon as you click on cybersecurity program and buy now, this opens up to you. So you'll be prompted to create an account, and in 30 seconds, you'll be able to do that. Then after you've done that, just click on enroll now. right? Click on enroll now and you see the cohort. So we have a cohort starting on the 6th of September, and it is recommended if you're looking to get started right away, right? But if you want to start in October, you need some more time to prep. We have another cohort that begins in October. But then if you want to start right away, take advantage of the discount, please go for the September cohort. Then down here, you'll see the payment options. Like I said, we have flexible payment options. We have the full payment. I know that you'd see 700 US dollars here and you'll be wondering from 750 to 700. We decided to give extra incentives for people that are looking to pay once or twice. It's just about the NPV value of money, the net present value of money. So if you're looking to pay once or twice, you get to pay 750 US dollars, right? Then if you want to go for the 3, 4, 5 monthly payment, you split 750 into 3, with the 3 installments, and you get to start with 250 US dollars. That is all you need to secure a discounted slot. In pounds, that would be 205 pounds, right? If you want to go for the 4 monthly payment, all you need to secure a slot with a 25% discount is 187 US dollars, pardon me. That is all you need to secure a discounted slot. You get to pay that over 4 months and you'll be done with the entire payment. So if you want to go for the 5 installment, you get to pay 150 US dollars every month, and in 5 months, you will be done. So pick on the payment options that work for you and then click on pay now. So at this point, you're basically able to, secure a slot. You see the payments breakdown, this is it shows the 5 monthly payment, and then you get to see your first payment will be 150 US dollars, your second payment, same, your third, fourth, fifth payment. Then you just need to confirm your information and check the box saying that you've read the Analytics terms and conditions and click on pay now, and you will be able to secure a discounted slot. So easy peasy, really, really simple. All right. So this is pretty much it about the, training. Like I said, it is discounted at the moment and you want to take advantage as soon as possible. So right now, what we're going to do is while you're trying to secure a slot, if you have any question, you can ask there in the chat. I'm going to scroll up to see if there are any questions, or if you want to speak, say to myself or Tohib, you have any more questions to ask, you can use the raise hand icon. We ask you to unmute and you get to ask your question. So Barbara asks, how do you give on the job support? So what we do is if you have a project ongoing, you have a task as a newbie, you just need to reach out, right? You have access to the facilitator, to the program coordinator. All you need to do is reach out and somebody would work with you on that project. So that is how we give on the job support. I hope I've been able to answer that. I'm just scrolling up to get more questions, right? But if you want to speak, ask your questions, feel free to use the raise hand icon so that you can ask your questions. All right, so I don't think I'm seeing any more questions. Does this mean that we don't have any more questions? So we have Tohib here, we have myself here. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. This is your moment of truth, right? If you have any questions, you can ask your questions at this point. Okay, so let's try to take advantage of the slot. And like I said, if you don't have any idea which of the training programs to go for, you're still wondering which one suits you, just join our community, okay? And a link to a clarity session will be sent. All you need to do is just come on the clarity session. You meet professionals willing to take a look at your experience and recommending a training program that suits you. All right, so I'm still on the lookout for questions. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I think we'll wrap the session up for today. But before we do that, I don't know if Tohib has any more thing to say. If we don't have questions, I think that we're done for this session. Hi Tohib, do you have any more thing to say?
I just want to say that hi Priscilla, thank you so much for everything. So I just want to say that I can't wait to see I know some of us, some of them, yeah, I can't wait to have them as a participant in tenor.
Absolutely. All right. So thank you for
See
that,
you
Tohib.
guys.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for that, Toheeb, right? So Barbara is asking, how do you partake of a clarity session? So my colleague, Obong Oyanoluwa, will be sending a link to our community, right here on the chat. So just join in on the community. You have the link sent to you, and then you'll be able to book for a clarity session. Okay, so whilst you're doing that, let's remember that the discount is only open to 20 persons, and you need to take advantage as soon as possible. As a beginner, do I have to get a specific laptop for cybersecurity? Absolutely, right? You have to get a specific laptop for cybersecurity, and I'll be sharing that right away. I'll share that with you. Just give me a moment to get the specific laptop, so you have access to it, and then you can purchase that whilst you're looking to get started. All right, just give me a minute, Frederick. I'm going to share it right there in the chat. Still looking forward to more questions, though, whilst I, take Frederick's. Okay. So I'll share it with you. Just give me a moment. Okay. So Frederick, I've just sent the lab system specifications to you, right? Just do well to book a clarity call if you need clarity or, security discounted slots so that you'd have access to, all the beautiful things here at 10 Analytics. So if you don't have more questions, we've literally come to the Okay, I joined a little late. How do I get your presentation slide to say the careers under cybersecurity? So just click on the form, the attendance form, and all you need to do is just fill up the attendance form. As soon as the recording of the session is available, speaking to Merit, as soon as the recording of the session is available and the slide, you have access to it. So my colleague Ubong or Iyanu will share the attendance form. It has been shared, Merit. So just fill it up and you get access to the slide and the recording as soon as those are available, and you get it via email. All right. So I guess we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you for spending almost 2 hours. So Mistura is asking, for the cybersecurity, it's very broad. Absolutely. And there are different job roles. Is there a job role particular you train each student or train all the job roles in cybersecurity? To me, I'm thinking it might be difficult to concentrate on all job roles. Absolutely. So what we do here at Analytics is to focus on 3 important roles, and that is what our key learning area is structured around. We have the SOC analysis, the pen testing or ethical hacking, and the GRC. So what this affords you is that, you get to learn all of these roles, all 3 of them while you're learning. You get to work on projects across these 3 roles. And during your internship, remember that you have internship, you then niche down, right? So if you prefer SOC analysis, you get to niche down into SOC analysis. You work on more projects across various industries as a SOC analyst. If you prefer pen testing or ethical hacking, you niche down on that, get to work on more projects in that regard, and become a pen tester. Then if you prefer the GRC part of things, you also niche down, right? So at the end of the day, you get to niche down, but you learn everything, right, for your own benefit. So you get to see, okay, which of them you would rather prefer to go for. I hope I've been able to answer your question. All right, so for Barbara, the link to book a clarity call has just been sent, right? So we've come to the end of today's session. If there are any more questions, feel free to ask in the chat and I'll take your questions. Otherwise, I've enrolled for data science, but would like to change to cybersecurity. Josephine, did you join the August cohort, or you're looking to start in September? I'll be looking forward to your response in the chat. Okay, August cohort. All you need to do is just, if you join the August cohort, all you need to do is reach out to your program coordinator. I'm sure you have access to them already. Tell them that, just make your interest known. I want to switch to cybersecurity, and they'll give you the program switch form, the process it entails. Yeah. So just reach out to your program coordinator and all of that will be sorted. Okay, so any more questions? We have 2 more minutes for questions and we'll be wrapping up. Yeah, you're welcome, Josephine. 2 more minutes for questions. If you have any more questions, now is the time to ask your moment of truth. Otherwise, we've come to the end of the session. Thank you so much. Ensure to secure a discounted slot as soon as possible. Okay, thank you, Tohib, for your time. And thank you to everybody that has joined us today. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers and bye for now. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Rice asking, is it more of practical or theory? Completely practical. Remember, the whole point is for you to gain experience so that you can apply to job. And you don't need theoretic. I had somebody join the clarity call and I was able to ascertain that, yeah, truly he has all the theoretical skills. But when it comes to the point of defending what you have on your CV, it's nowhere to be found. That is why the focus for us here on Analytics is the practical knowledge. So any day, anytime, you'll be able to defend what you have on your CV. You'll be able to defend with confidence the skills that you have. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Thank you for speaking with me. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now and cheers. Thank you.